Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time I've got a new sales video. So this is Penguin main series from books 501 up to 1000. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, and so before we kick off, orders, please, as they come through, please include the book's number, its title and author. It just makes it so much easier for me to zoom to the place in the studio here where the books are kept, and I can just pull those orders. If you just list it by the title, I'm going to be really struggling because I'm going to have to look every single one up if I don't know it off the top of my head. So please be as descriptive as possible. Also, some books I've got multiple copies of, so if that's the case, please put down the price of the book that you'd like to get, because sometimes they're different prices for different conditions. If you're happy to take a lower grade one, obviously just let me know in the email. Now, all orders are received on a first come first served basis. There's no embargo. As soon as the video goes live to the public, then you can start placing orders, basically. Like all my sales videos, they go out a few days or sometimes a week early to Patreon and channel members. So if you want absolutely first stab at the apple with all my future sales videos, do consider supporting the channel by becoming a channel member from as little as £1 or $1, either here on YouTube or on Patreon. So this one here is number 502, and this is £2.50. And I try and show the books from all sides. Every single book is a first edition, a first Penguin printing. So I've got two copies of 503, which is Dr. Johnson and Company. This copy here is £3. And that copy there is £3.50. It's slightly lighter. So that's an example. So if you wanted the £3.50 one, put that in your email. So include your price. Obviously, don't forget to include whereabouts in the world you are. If you're UK or if you're overseas, I will ship anywhere. 505, Lady Hester Stanhope. That's £3 an hour, a little bit of foxing. I'll ship anywhere in the world. I mean, it is worth pointing out that the USA and Canada, you may have to pay a small import duty before you're able to receive it, because most British couriers now, they contact the person before it gets delivered. Once it's in the country, they contact the person and say, oh, there's a small amount of duty to be paid, and that'll be on top of my normal price. I can't tell you what the duty is going to be. It depends on the value of the parcel, of course. But just bear that in mind for USA and Canadian customers, of which I send books to them all the time. So don't be put off by that. I'm just saying that is something to consider. But postage around the world is pretty much at cost, and I'll always try and get the best sort of deal that I can. Okay, so we've got two copies of 508. They're both £5. I think they're both equally nice. And I'll try and do these in order. Now, these books have been to a couple of shows, so sometimes they're slightly out of order. Plus I've got some new stuff that's been added in since this. This is 513. This is the Prussian Office. This is 250. Slightly worn, that one, but 250. These early ones, post 500 in crime, are actually quite scarce. So 514, Spectre French and the Star Wars Tragedy, that's £4. A couple of copies of Documents Marked Secret, 516, £3, and that one is £4. And as I said, it may only be little bits of difference between the two. Like that one there's got a better spine, the £4 one, than the £3 one. So that would be the reason that the price is as it is. All right. 517, Calls for Alarm, £4, and these represent very good value for money. Those. Grim Smile of £5, 519. And that's £2.50. Now, all books, once they've been sold or even reserved, will be in the description down below, and I'll keep that up to date as the orders come in. So please check on a computer or just on your phone. Look in the description, and you'll see a list of all the books that have actually sold. So you're not going to be disappointed when you put your order through. 520, and that's £2.50. Bit of foxing on that one. 522, A Cure for Flesh. It's getting a little bit of aging on that one. That's also £2.50. 523, Cases of Suzanne there. A little bit of wear on the spine, that crime one there. £2.50. Holy Terrors, 526. £3 on that one. Shadow Syndicate, 528. This one's a little bit worn. Bit of page edge foxing, £2.50. 3 copies of Barlash at the Guard. This is 532. So that's £2 for that one. £2.50 for that one. This one's a bit brighter. That one's £3.50. Quite a nice copy of that one. A Rope of Sand, 537. £3 for that one. Memoirs of a British Agent, 538, and that's £2.50 for that one. Darkness at Noon, 539. Bit of cover foxing, just £2 on that one. Third Penguin Problems book, 4, 4 and 5. So the 5 is virtually mint untouched, and that one's got a bit of foxing, as is that. So 2 copies at 4 and a really, really nice one at 5 for that puzzle book. And then we've got the Brass Bottle, 542. I've got 4 copies of this one. Okay. It's a £2 one. That's 3 on that one. £2.50 on that one. Tape residue mark on that. That's £2. So once again, just let me know which one you'd like. Okay, 544, The New House, Lettuce Cooper. That one's £2.50 for that one. Unbearable Basington, 545, Saki. That's £1.50 for that one, a little bit worn. And that's the same, so both copies at £1.50. Chronicles of Clovis, 547, Saki again. That's £2.50, a little tear down the bottom there, but not too bad a copy. 548 is Virginibus Parissis, R.L. Stevenson, Robert Louis Stevenson. That one's a little bit foxed for £2. Same, very, very similar conditions. A couple of pounds each for those. Peter Waring, so 551. That's a fairly bright copy, that one. That's £3. And that's £3.50. That's a slightly better one, better spine on that one. 552, The Power of the Dog. £2.50 for that one, double volume. Beau Saber, 556. That's £2 for that one. And that's £2.50. Child of Jago, 558. £2.50 on that one. That's £2. And that's £1.50. And we've got Plays Pleasant, 560. That's £1.50 on that one. Enemy of the People, £4. It's in a bag. It's a virtually perfect copy of that one for 521. So that's actually, I'm afraid to say, out of place. That's 521. So I shall pop that back there to pop in place. It's a lovely copy. 560, Plays Pleasant again. £2. Plays Unpleasant, 561. £1.50. 561 again. £1.50. Obviously these Bernard Shaws are very, common, 562, £1.50. 3 plays for Puritans, that's £1.50 and £1.50. Can't go far wrong with these if you've not already got them. Man and Superman, £1.50 for 563. 564, 3 copies of these. Once again, they're all firsts. £2 on that one. £1.50 on that one. And £1.50 on that one, bit of tape on that. St. Joan, 565. That's £2. And that's £1.50. Now don't forget, it wasn't that long, about a month ago, that I did my Penguins 1 to 500, what I had in stock. Although I've sold quite a bit from that, there's still stuff available. So once again, have a look at that video and check the description, because it may be that some of those books are still available. So this is 566, and that's £1.50. And Broccoli's and the Lion, and that's also £1.50. 567, Black Girl in Search of God, £1.50, and another copy, £1.50, and another copy. That one looks really, really sharp for £2. That's virtually new. The Ladies Road, so we've got 568. That's £3.50 on that one. Quite a nice tight copy. And that's £2 on that one with some foxing. 569 is the Leavenworth case. £2 on that. It's got the first page a little bit loose. That's this one. £2.50 on that one. A couple of H.G. Wells's, Love and Mr. Lewisham, 572. That's £2. History of Mr. Polly, 574. That's £2.50. 577 is The Tragic Comedians, £3 on that. 578, 2 Years Before the Mast, which is £3.50 for that one. 580, Cardinal Snuff Box. £2 on that one, little ring on the front. Club of Queer Trades, 581. £2.50. And then we got 3 copies of Nordenholt's Millions, 582. Now that copy's £2, got a little 5p on the front, but apart from that, it's very nice. That's got £2.50 on, and this one is £2. 583 is Here Comes the Copper, £3 on that one. 585, we got Rex v Anne Bickerton, nice copy of that for £4. 586 is Twilight of the Gods, £3.50 on that one. Man Alive, 587, £2 on that. Narrow Street, 588, £3 on that one. 592, we've got a couple of copies of The Turn of the Screw, £2.50 on that one. This looks like a better copy of it. That's £3 on that. 593 is Kimono. £2 on that. 595 Adam and Me and Pinch Me. £2 on that one. My Friend Prospero, 596. £3 for that one. There's another copy of it. £2 for that one. Anatomy of Peace, 599. £2 on that one. It's quite foxed. Got a sticker on the back there. But apart from that, unread for £2.50. Oscar Wilde, this is number 600, and this is the second printing of it. So the second print is £2. This is the first print of it. That's like revised, I think, and this is £2.50. So let me know which one you want, but there's two versions in number 600, the first and then the revised edition. Dragons Are Extra, 601. £2 on that one, a bit foxed. 602 Menace, Richard Cavern. Bit of a worn spine on that one. So he's just £2. Robert Graves, Antigone Penny Boots, 605. That's £2 as well. And 605 again. £2.50 for that one. The Best Is Yet, which is 611. £2.50. And Labour's First Year, 612. A little bit foxed. That one's £2. Case for Three Detectives, 613. £2 on that one. Aftermath, 614. £2.50 for that one. Got 3 copies of Life at Class. That's £2.50 on that one. That's £2.50 on that one. That one's 2, so you can just let me know what you'd like. Dew on the Grass, we got 2 copies of this one. £2 for that one. And £2 for that one. Delhi Telegraph Crossword Puzzle Book, number 2. Crossword Puzzle Book 2. A few crosswords attempted in pencil. That's £10, and that's number 620. Okay. And then we've got the Times Crossword Puzzle Book, number 3. A few crosswords attempted in pencil, once again, but a little bit more worn. That's £7 for that one. So a couple of scarce crossword books. Harp and the Oak, 622. A couple of copies of this one. That's £2.50 on that one. And £2 on that one. Then we've got the Gilt Kid, 623. That's £2. Soul of Mallet, number 624. £2.50. Travel, Siren Land, 625. Faded spine as is usual on this one. For £3. Quite tight, little splash in the front there. Same with this one, faded spine for 625. £2.50 on that one. It's got a bit of a tape removal mark. The Hero of Delhi, we got 3 copies of this one. So this one here is number 627. This one's £3.50, and that's a really nice and tight copy of that one. This one, it's got a little bit of foxing and aging. That's £2 on that one, still unread. That one's bright. It's got a sticker on the front. That's also £2. Save the children. Then we've got a couple of copies of Dead March in 3 keys, number 629. It's £2.50, and these are an absolute steal. As you know, you just need to go online. Try finding a Penguin Crime from the 1950s for £2.50. You know what I mean? Here's another copy, and that one £2. And then this one here, Death and Mary DeZille, £6.30. £2.50. Right, 634 is Famous Charles II. And that is a £2.50 for that one, a bit foxed. And that was £2 for that one. So, I mean, these are absolute steals, really, when you think about it. Alexander Pope, 636. £2.50 for that one. And £2 for that one. 638. Don Segundo Sombra. £2 for that one with a Save the Children sticker on. That one's a little brighter. That's 3 on that. That's quite a nice tight copy of that one. 640. A Man Could Stand Up. £3 on that one. Fort Maddox Ford again. 641. Last Post. £3.50 for that one. Mr. Fortune's Maggot, 642. £3 on that one. Another crossword book now. So this is number 644. A Few Puzzles Attempted in Pencil, £8 on that one. And that's a fairly nice copy. Odd Man Out. Got 3 copies of this. So 646. That one there is £3. Foxton on the back cover, £2.50 on that one. This one's had some tape removal at the bottom of the spine, so that's £2. So whatever you're into, if you're just a reader, of course, go for the cheaper one. Antic Hay, £6.45, Aldous Huxley. £3 on that one. 647 Commando, got a Save the Children stamp on it. £2.50 on that one. Eminent Victorians, 649. It's £2.50 on that one. My Life in Hard Times, Thurbert, 653. £2.50 on that one. 654 Fruit in Season, £2.50 on that one. And another copy of Fruit in Season, which is £2.50. Next we got Dead Reckoning, number 655. Now this one's a little bit worn, but it's £2. The King is Dead on Queen Street, 656. £2.50 on that one. Another copy. That's £3. Death of a Beauty Queen, 658. £2.50 on that one. Night Has 1,000 Eyes, number 660. £2.50 on that one. 2 copies of Nasen, 661. £2.50 on that one. And £2 on that one with the Save the Children mark. Crossword Mystery, 663. That's £2.50. Ponies and Ponies, 665. 250 on that one. 666, Defy the Foul Fiend. £3 on that one. Penguin Island, 617. This one's sadly out of place, so sorry about that. But 617 is £2.50. Quality control, you see, quality control. The Smith of Smiths, 669. £2.50 on that one. And then 4 copies of No Bed for Bacon. So you got that one at £1.50. £2. £2. And £2.50 for the best one. 673, looking for a Bluebird. Quite a nice copy of that one. That's £3.50. And this one in a bag, slightly dark in spine, but pretty much perfect for £4 on that one. Journal of a Disappointed Man, 674. £2 on that, a little bit of a piece missing there. Right, 675 is Hassan. £3 on that copy. £2.50 on that one. And £2 on that one. 676, Shurston's Progress. £2 on that one. And £1.50 on that one. 677, Charles Lamb and Aaliyah. £2.50 on that. William Cobbett. This is 680. This one's £2. Got sellotape removal marks in the inside covers. So it's got a slightly darkened spine. That's £2.50 on that one. 681 is Barbara. £2 on that one. And £2 on that one, so virtually identical conditions. 699, the White Horses of Vienna, K. Boyle. £2 on that one. And another copy, £1.50. And one more copy. And that's £2.50 for that one. Murder on Leave, 702. £2. Excellent Intentions, 708. Small sticker on the back. That's £2 on that one. 709 is The Kiss of Death. And that's £2. Then we've got Contract Bridge, which is 710. £1.50 on that one. £2 on that one. And £2 on that one. Don't Miss It Disraeli, 715. £2.50 on that. Without My Cloak, this is 716. This is a very nice copy. £4 on that one. Paris of Troy, 719. That's at £2 on that one. And £2 on that one. Can Ladies Kill, 720, Peter Cheney, couple of small marks, but otherwise a really nice copy of that one for 4. Dangerous Curves, 7.21. Peter Cheney again. This is a little bit worn. 3.50 there, not too bad. The Velvet Well, 7.27. $2.50 on that one. The Big Clock, 7.28. Got 2 copies of this one. That's $2.50. And that's also $2.50. So very similar conditions. Soft Answers. We got 3 copies of 7.29 and $2.50. £2 and £2. Strawberry Roan, 7.31. That copy's £2. And this one, markedly better, is £2.50. August Folly, 7.32. It's $2.50 on that one. And then Royal Flush, 7.33. Double volume, £2 on that one. Okay, so we got 7.35. This is a double volume in a wrapper. So it's £4. The wrapper's got a darkened spine, but underneath the book is absolutely beautiful. So that's 4 on that one. Marjorie Allingham, Coroner's Pigeons, 7.36. £2.50 for that. It's got a bit of spotting on it. 7.37. This one's missing its price, but that one is £3.50 for that. Nice copy of Black Plumes. A Simmons, 7.39. It's a double, 7.39. 2 books. That's £2 because I mean it has worn and that, but still a Simmons. Here's another copy, slightly better, but it has got a price sticker on the front. That's $2.50 for that one. Little dink at the top of the spine, but very, very good value for £2.50 that. 7.40 Cataret's Cure. That's £4 on that one. Richard Cavern. Now, Trouble Is My Business. We've got 2 copies. We've got this one here, which got a little bit of wear on the spine there. That one's at 8. And I've got another copy here, which is even brighter. 1 spine crease, but still very, very nice. And that one's 10. I shall bag that one up if anyone wants that, of course. Don't Monkey with Murder, 7.43. That one's £4 on that. A pretty nice copy of that. Then we've got Edward Lear, 7.47. Angus Davidson. That one is £3 for that one. Then we've got 7.55. Aaron's Rod. D.H. Lawrence, of course. £2.50 on that copy. And that one is £2. 7.57. St. Maur. And the Virgin and the Gypsy, that's £1.50. White Cockatoo, bit of a grubby copy, 760. That's £2 on that one. Then we got Mr. Campion and Others, 762. Marjorie Allingham again. That's £3.50. Then we got 763, 4 English comedies. That's £3 on that one. Night in Bombay, 766. £3 on that one. Another copy of Night in Bombay, bit of foxing on there. It's £2.50. Sweet Danger, 769. That's £4 on that one. Very nice copy. The Crime at Black Dudley, £7.70. Now this copy here is £3.50. And we've got another copy here, very, very nice, for £4. And we've got another copy here, and that one is £3. That's the worst of the three that we've got. Allingham again, 772, Traitor's Purse, £2 on that one. 773, Look to the Lady, Allingham again, £3 on that. Oxbow Incident, 776, £3 on that one. Famous Trials of Marshall Hall, this is 778, £2 on that one. These are steals really. 780, 7 Against Reeves, £2.50, and 782, The Ginger Griffin, £2 on that one. Okay, 782, another copy of The Ginger Griffin, and that one's £2.50. And we've got 2 copies of Miss Hargreaves, 783, £2 on that one. And another copy, £2.50. Then Famous Trials 3, we got 2 copies of this one. That one's £3. Then a very, very nice copy for £4. 2 copies of Dead Lion, which is 788. £3.50 on that one. And another copy, slightly inferior to the last one, £2.50. 793, Mystery Villa, £3 on that one. The Ghost It Was, very nice copy there of 794 for £4. And slightly lower grade one at £2.50. The Brandons, 796. That's £2.50. H.M. Pullum Esquire, 798. £2 on that giant. And here's a slightly better copy, which is £3. And then we've got The Garden Party, 799. This one's got some page edge foxing. £2 on that one. 802, The Good Soldier Schweck. It's a double volume. A classic, of course, for £3. Nothing Can Rescue Me, 803, Elizabeth Daily. £3 on that one. The Chinese Room, 2 copies. This is 809. £3 on that one. And a further copy for £2. Yep, just £2 on that one for 809. The Reader is Warned, 812, Carter Dixon. £2.50 on that one. And we've got the 10 Teacups, 817. £2 on that. Work Suspended, 824. £2 on that one. Into Latitudes, 828. £2.50 on that one. And another copy of 828, Simonon, which is £3.50. Goldsworthy, Man of Property, 831. It's £2 on that. Huxley, Those Barren Leaves, 832. £2 on that one. Happy Return, 835. First Hornblower, 250. Prayer for the Wanderer, 836, K. O'Brien. £3 on that one. Then we got 2 copies of Farmer's Glory. This is number 837. That copy is 250. And this one here, slight water wrinkle for 2. And then Crazy Like a Fox, 839. And that one's £2 with a little stamp in. Okay, so 840, Joanna Godden. £2 on that one. A further copy. 250 on that one. And £2 on that one. Forrester, Plain Murder. This is 842. £3 on that. 843, Summer Half. That's 250 on that one. 844 is The Brook Kerith. £4 on that. Very, very nice copy of that one. Here's another example. Still very nice, actually. And that is £3 for that one. 10 Years Under the Earth, 846. Faded Spine, as is so common with these travel ones. Just £2.50 for that. Reunion with Murder, 848. £2.50 for that one. The House Without the Door. Wow, that's no good, is it? Well, we got 3 copies of this. It's number 850. A bit of foxing in that one there. £3 for that one. £2 for that one. And £3.50 for that one. Case of the Tudor Queen, 349. Slightly out of order, apologies. £2 for that one. Before Lunch, 852. £3.50. And From Bombo, 354. Nice copy of that one for £3.50. On the Danger Line, Simonon, 858. That one is £2.50. And that one's also £2.50. So that one's just got a little bit of pen on the front. The other one's got a slightly more worn spine. So just let me know. 861 is Bright Day. It's £2 on that one. More Work for the Undertaker. 864, Marjorie Allingham again. £2.50 on that copy. And the same, £2.50. They're about the same condition. A Problem a Day, 866. £2 for that one. The Cambridge Murders, 865. £3 on that. Lady in the Lake, Raymond Chandler. Little name on the front, but apart from that, very nice, for £6. The Golden Box, wow, 4 copies of this one. This is number 868. So this one here is £2. That's also £2. £2.50. £3. Callion's Reach 869. £1.50 for that one. South 8.70. Couple of tape removal marks. £2. Thurber Carnival 8.71. £2 on that one. And then the cask 8.76. Freeman Wheels Crofts. £3 on that one. 8.77. A pin to see the peep show. This is a giant. That's £3.50 on that one. And another copy of 8.77. £3 on that one. Bit of travel. 8.78. Valley of the Assassins. That's £2 on that one. Straight is the Gate. 8.81. That's £2. And another copy. £1.50 on that one. A little bit more worn spine. 8.82. Tea with Mr. Rochester. That's £2. Many Dimensions. 8.84. £3 for that one. Not a bad copy. Men and Gods. 8.85. Rex Warner. £3 for that one. Duet of Death. 8.86. 2 copies of this one. £3 on that one. And £3.50 on that one. Now we've got 4 copies of 8.88. Crime and the Police. I think they're all pretty nice, but we'll have a look. That's at £3.50. £3 on that one, with a little bit of spotting. £2.50 on that one. And that's got a Save the Children stamp on, sticker on. £2. So if you want a copy of that, it's a great book. Just let me know your price point. And then we've got 2 copies of The Case of the Black-Eyed Blonde, 8.89. Classic Earl Stanley. This one's got a water ripple along the bottom, so he's £2.50. And this one, pretty nice. That one's £3.50 on that one. Okay, into the last stretch now. We've got 8.90, The Bandage Nude. Bit of a worn copy of that one for £2. 8.91 is Trial by Fury. £2 for that one. Deadly Weapon, 8.92. That's £3.50 for that one. Quite a nice copy of that. Now we've got a crossword puzzle book. So this is number 893. No crosswords have been attempted in this one. So that's why it's £15. A little bit of a couple of little marks on the front and back there, but it's an unattempted crossword book. So they're rare in that condition. 895 is Zuleika Dobson. That's £3.50. Then we got The Sea in the Jungle, Cerise, Faded Spine again, £8.98. That's £1.50 for that one. And this one here, similar sort of condition, to be honest. That's not priced, but also £1.50. Right, 7 famous one-act plays, number 900. £2.50 on that one. 901, Voyage to Perilla. Nice copy of that one. £3.50 on that one. Serenade, 902, James Cain. £2 on that. The Sure Thing, 903. 250 on that one. The Last Frontier, 2 copies, 904. That's 250 on that one. And £3 on that one. And we've got the 3 Hostages, 908. 250 on that one. Then Journey into Spring, 909. £2 on that one, a little bit foxed. And same on that, £2 on that one. 910 is Devil's Foot, Georgette Hare. £2 on that one. Then we've got 911, Case of the Substitute Face, Errol Stanley. It's 250 on that one. 912 is The Case of the Lame Canary, Errol Stanley Gardner again. 250 on that one. 916 is Death of a Train, Freeman Wills Crofts. A little bit worn. It's £2 on that one. The Cheyenne Mystery, 917. Freeman Wills Crofts again, that's 250 on that one. Nice copy of Inspector French's Greatest Case. It's £5 for 918. It's a very, very nice copy of that one. The Loss of the Jane Vosper, 919. Freeman Wills Crofts again. That copy is 250. And a further copy is £3. 1230 from Croydon. This is number 920. That copy is 350. And another copy. That's 250 on that one. Now, Avenue of Stone, we've got a really perfect one here at £4. This is for number 921. I've got another copy. That's £2 on that one. And a further copy, which is £2.50. The Brave Bulls, 922. £3.50 on that one. Bullets for the Bridegroom. I like to give this one to the bridegroom if I go to a wedding. £2.50 on that. And we've got the Night Walkers, £5 on this, 933. Is that the correct? No, that's actually 938, the Night Walkers. Very, very nice copy of that one for £5. 941, Three Sisters Flew Home. £3.50 on that one. And we've got 100 crossword puzzles from the Daily Telegraph, volume 4. One crossword attempted in pen. So it's got £4 on. You can see there's some scribbling on the front as well. Much more typical of your crossword book, but still they are very, very scarce. 946, Nora Loft's Jassy. Quite a bright copy of that one for £3. Case of the Constant Suicides, 947, John Dixon Carr. A little bit of foxing, but otherwise a nice copy of that one. He Who Whispers, so 2 copies of that. That copy is £3. Then an exceptional one for £5. Very, very nice copy of that one indeed. Till Death Us Do Part, 950, John Dixon Carr again. £2 on that one. And this one is better, but slightly rubbed spine for £3. Another crossword puzzle book. No crosswords attempted on this one either. This is £17. It's very, very nice and sharp. A couple of little marks, but very, very nice. I tend to go for 20 to 25 online, so that's still a good price. The Case of the Counterfeit Eye. This is £5 for number 952. Nice copy of that one. And we have another copy of it, another example, which is £3 on that. A little tear in the top there. Murder of My Aunt. This is 953. 250 on that one. This one's got a sticker on the front. £2. Who Remembers Murder One? Loving. 958. £3 on that one. 2 copies of 6 Curtains for Strognovova. 959. That copy is £2. This is a bright one with a little bit of tape on the back for 350. The Healing Knife, Sava, 961. That's £2 for that one. And then we've got Lucinda Brayford, 962. Another massive volume. And that's £2 for that one. Right, last little pile now, up to 1,000. So we've got 966, The Case of the Sleepwalker's Niece. That's a 250 on that one. And we have another copy. That's £3 on that one. The DA Calls a Turn, 967. £2 on that one. A Floating Dutchman, 975. It's 350 on that one. And 3 on that one. We've got a Christie, Death Comes as the End. Not perfect, but you know, a little bit of spine roll, a small tear at the bottom of the spine there, but it's all there for 6. It's the only Christie we've got this time round, I'm afraid. They have already all sold. 976 is Red Threads. That's a 250 on that one with a little cover tear. And then a very, very nice one for £5. A little bit of foxing, but still nice and robust. Death of a Doll, 977. That's 250 on that one. Then we've got a really nice one for 4. Now we got a Time and Tide crossword book. So many crosswords attempted, but in pencil for £10. As you can see, it's an actually really bright copy. So if you can take the time to go through and rub it out with pencil, you could have a really perfect one. Personally, I don't bother taking the attempts out myself. 980 is The Heyday in the Blood. A very nice copy again for 4. Then we've got 3 copies of Can You Tell Me? It's another one of those sort of puzzle books, 981. So that one is £3. That one is 250. And that's a really, really nice one. Slightly darkened spine for 4. Then we've got Famous Trials 4, number 983. That's £3. And another copy, a little bit the worse for wear, for 250. An Odd Woodhouse, Look at the Bodkins, 985. These tend to get snapped up quite quickly. It's 350 on that one. Another crossword book, A Few Puzzles Attempted in Pen. So that cannot be rubbed out. From the Scotsman. This is £8 for number 987. So you could do all right if you collect crossword puzzle books. 989, Immaterial Murder Case, Julian Simmons. £4 on that one. A little bit of foxing, but still quite a robust copy. Blood on the Snow, 991. That one's £3, and then we've got a really tip-top one for 4. Another Woodhouse, Summer Lightning, this is 995. £3 on that one. Arnold Bennett, 996. That's £3 on that one. We've got Journals of Arnold Bennett, this is £4. Scarce book that, 999. And then 3 copies of number 1000. An excellent read in its own right. I recommend this book. This copy is £2. This one, slightly better, is, I would imagine, £2.50, £3 on that one. And then this copy, I think, is the best one that I've got here, on a par with the last one. And that one is £2.50. Oh, well, there you go. Whichever one you like, just let me know. So there we go. Hope you've enjoyed looking through all those books. Now, if you've seen something, just make a little list of it, email it to me with the number, title, author and price so I can easily get to it. I'll reserve the books immediately for you in the order that the emails come in, and then I'll get back to you with photographs and a price. Don't forget to include, of course, your name and address and whereabouts in the world you are, so I can work out what the postage is likely to be. Now, a month ago, I did have a Penguins 1 to 500, and there are some books from that still available. Only about a box and a half now. Most of it has well gone, but there are some really good books still left, and very, very cheap as well. So if you fancy something from that, just go back and look at that other video. I'll link to it at the end here. Check what's gone in the description, and maybe you can include something from that. The rest of my stuff that's already priced, this is classics, peacocks, puffins, all the rest of it, buildings of England, what have you, that will be in a video in the new year. And then I am actively working on going through my stock of 1,000 to 3,000. That's what I'm actively trying to do. I'm trying to do 100 every other day. So I need to process them, clean them, compare them against my own copies, and then get them priced. So look out for those books in the new year. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you find something of interest, and don't forget I can ship anywhere in the world, but have a little caveat that Canada and the USA, there may be that slight duty that you'll need to jump on and pay just to get the books to you, but it's only a nominal amount, but it could potentially be something, okay? And I can't see what that is, but hopefully that's not going to put you off. I will ship anywhere in the world. I'm also open for visitors, so if you're looking to buy a fair bit, or you're local and in the southwest area of Britain, give me a shout, and potentially I might be able to arrange a visit for people to actually come down and have a look, and then you can pull the books literally in front of you if you want to. Anyway, there we are for today. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again very soon with another video. Bye.